Hello, I'm Karen, and today I want to share with you how to make these gorgeous little crochet string vests. This one is actually for the premature size baby, and this is for the early newborn baby. And I will just show you that this little one here, look, is 4.5 inches across, so that'll be a 9-inch chest circumference. And this one is almost 6, so that's going to be a 12-inch chest circumference. Now, before I actually show you the pattern, what I'm going to do, because I'm going to show you this one, I want to show you how you can increase your sizes and explain how the pattern works, so that then you will be able to make this from this size all the way up to as big as you want. And this is the actual one in the photo, which is actually for the 6-year-old, which measures, oops, you can't see, that's not on camera. It measures 10 inches across the chest, so that's going to be a 20-inch circumference, and they've got plenty of give in them. If I show you on the smaller one, you can't see on that video, they've got some give, so that they will grow a little bit with your baby. Because I've discovered that I've actually got new crocheters watching my videos, I'm actually going to do some finishing touches, and also just to show how to finish off nicely, but that'll be in a separate video. And I just also want to show you these other ones that I have made, which this pattern, the beginning chain is the same for all of these. I started off with exactly the same amount of chains. All I did to increase the size was go up a size in my hook. So for example, this little one measures 5.5 inches across. This was done with a 4mm hook. This one is 7 inches across, and this was done with a 6mm hook. Sorry, I had a bit of thread mixed in with my yarn. I was disappointed with that, but this one measures 8 inches across, which was done with an 8mm hook. And finally, this mint green one was done with a 10mm hook and measures 9 inches across. So that's one way of increasing the size for exactly the same pattern. It works with this one. It doesn't work with all patterns. I've noticed it works so far with the shoe pattern that I've been doing. Another way of increasing the size is to increase the chain that you create underneath the arm. And so this then becomes a wider. If I put that together, it's still exactly the same beginning chain. You can see those bits fit perfectly together. But if I just move it to one side, you can see it's actually increased it by another inch there. So that's actually another 2 inches increase of the circumference all the way around your chest. Personally, I would have done this one a little bit longer, but I wanted it to be exactly the same, just so you can see the difference of how that's increased in size. So if you get yourself a pen and paper, I'm going to show you how this works and give you a little history lesson on crochet. So this all stems back from the 70s, and in the 70s, I'm going to draw a little person. People had discovered how to make a poncho. That's the hand, and that's where your legs would come down. And how they discovered to make the poncho was they was actually making lots and lots of granny squares all together. And if they discovered, if you took out some of the centre squares, because it was essentially a big square like this made up of lots and lots of smaller squares, they took out the centre squares, it made the hole for you to put your head in. Okay, and then these bits here are the bits that come across your shoulders, and that's the point down the front. So to make this beginning square, they needed to make a chain, but also then work into that chain to make it be a square almost from the beginning. And this is the beginning that I'm going to use to actually make the vest. So to help you with the maths and to make this make sense, if you draw yourself a square to start off with, the baby pattern that I'm going to demonstrate, I did a chain of 12 for each of my equal sides. But to go around the corner I needed to add in an extra chain. So I drew myself little triangles just to remind myself I need an extra chain for each of my corners. So we add this up, so we've got our 4 times 12, which is our 48, plus the 4 corners makes it 52. Okay, so if you wanted to do a completely bigger version of the same thing, you would just do, so if you was going to do 14 there, 14, 14, 14, remember to add in your 1 in the corner, so you've got 1 in each of your corners, so you've got 40, 48, 48, 52, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, so you begin with a chain of 60. Okay, this worked fine while I was doing the smaller sizes, but then when I tried to increase the sizes and do this for an adult, it made the shoulder straps become so close to the edge of your shoulders they was going to fall off. So if you want to make the adults sizes, then you need to make yourself a rectangle. So for example, we would put 12 there, and we'd have 24 here and 24 here. We would have our corners. Okay, and the total of that was 76 for our beginning chain, and that in a size 10mm hook, that would be the beginning for a size 12 UK. This here is the newborn baby. Okay, now when we actually begin the work, I'm going to show you with a piece of paper of how this is actually working. So when you make your chains of 12 and you've got your ones in the corner, we're going to make a square like this, it's hollow in the centre. And then what we're going to do is, if you've worked with the cardigan pattern, you know that the top bit comes over, so this is going to make the shoulder strap. And we're going to do a chain area here to come underneath the arms, so that would be like that. This is going to come across your chest, then we're going to work around and around and around in a circle. Now I've discovered a way of doing this around and around in a circle without it making your work go slanted, so as you can see they're all nice and neat and straight across. Okay, but there is actually no joins. You've got no visible join or seam work in these whatsoever. It's absolutely brilliant pattern. And I personally would love it if you could share it, especially for, do you know, when they've been in the world disasters and they've got no power and they've got no clothes to wear. If they can crochet, they can feel useful and they can make them their clothes. Okay, so that's the principle of how this is going to work. Just so that you know, you're going to be starting at this point here. Each time you start, that's your start. So this is your start here, which is actually the back of your right shoulder. And then this is going to be the strap that goes over. That's going to come across your chest. That's going to be the strap that comes over your other shoulder, and that's going across your back. Then we're going to work the chain to bring everything together, and it shrinks it down so that what essentially is a big area for you to be working with, when you folded it over and you're going round and around, it's less. So this, once you've got to that point there with your work, it's going to build up really quickly. So I'm just going to crochet down to this point and then leave you to do it. And for the lady that asked me about making the vest pattern, I'm just going to explain that for her in particular, I began with the square and I did a chain of 20 like that, and my ones in the corner, 1, 1, 1 and 1, and that was my starting point, so start here. So that was a total chain of 84, and it worked that one in an 8mm hook. loops and an 8mm hook. Okay, so that's what she needs to do to be able to create this size, which I'm hoping is going to fit her 6-year-old. If it doesn't fit and it's a little bit small, then all she needs to do is just to go up a size of hook, so she can go up to a size 9 hook and she can try a size 10 hook. Then after that, you can increase the chain here, or we can actually increase the beginning chain. Okay, so I'm going to go back and I'm going to do this newborn baby size, and I'm going to work with a 6mm hook, and whoopsie daisy, I couldn't find any of my yarns that was visible enough on the video, which was in the centre of the ball, so I've had to undo my yarn. So right, so I'm going to begin now with a chain of 52. Okay, oh, hang on, one more thing I forgot to say. Where is that piece of paper gone? There, for the 6-year-olds one there, we need to do the underarm equals chain 10. Okay, that is for the bigger sizes. When you're going up, you really do need to increase that chain from underneath the arm, otherwise it pulls them too tight. So, and for the underarm for the baby, it's a chain 5. Okay, right, so I've got that bit out of the way, move all my stuff. Okay, so we're going to start with our magic loop, and this one will leave the tails quite long. It just helps for sewing in later on. Okay, I've got ink on my finger, on my nail, so we're going to begin with a chain of 52. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. I'm just stopping a minute, I'm sorry. I want to make sure that you're doing your chains really nice and loose, because you need to work in these chains. If you've done it tight, I'm sorry, you have to start again. So that's 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52. Now if you've ever worked with a chain before and it says for you to join the chain and don't twist it, that strictly speaking is not true, because you do need to twist it, because you need to make sure that your tail end is now pointing in the opposite direction. And when we go to join, we're not going to join in this very end hole where we actually cast on. We want to go into the next piece, because we want to go underneath 2 loops and we're leaving 1 loop at the bottom. And be careful when you pick up your tail at this point, because it's easy to pick up the end tail and before you know it, you run out of yarn. And all we're going to do is slip stitch that together. Okay, and just do 1 chain. That's just to secure it. That is nothing to do with the pattern other than to secure it. It just makes life easier. And then we're going to work 2 single crochet into this part here, which is the very first corner. So we're going to end on the corner. Okay, so working underneath 2 loops, and this time we're going to single crochet in the next 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 3 single crochet in the next. 1, 2, 3, and that's the second corner that's been made. And we want to single crochet in the next 12, but just here, because you've done 3 in this stitch is going to be a little bit tight. You still need to work in there, so we're just going to come underneath the 2, single crochet in the next 12. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, sorry, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 3 single crochet in the next. 1, 2, 3. That's our third corner made. By the way, don't worry if your work begins to twist while you're crocheting. It's okay, we can sort it out at the end. Single crochet in the next 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 3 single crochet in the next. 1, 2, 3. Single crochet in the next 12. We're actually going to stop at 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. At 11, just pull up your loop and get your work and lay your work out flat. Now fortunately mine has turned out alright, but if you're new at crocheting you may, I'm going to twist mine up and show you, right, you may have twisted while you was working and you may end up with something that looks like that. So what you want to do is you start off with the point where you're actually working and straighten out your edge and then come down to the other side, make sure that that's straight, hold that there, then untwist it as you work along, make sure that that's nice and flat, and then untwist this piece until you're nice and straight. Once you're happy that your work is straight, then you do the 12th stitch. Okay, so that's the 12th one. Now we're going to ignore this area here and we need to work back into the very beginning. We're going to ignore this chain of 1 that we did there, that's just was security, and we're going to single crochet over that chain of 1, and then we're going to do a single crochet into the center corner like that. Okay, now we're going to do a chain of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we need to make sure that our work's nice and straight, and we come over to our corner and we want to work in the center stitch again, so we're going to go underneath the 2 loops and single crochet that together there. So that's made our first shoulder strap, and this bit's going underneath. Okay, now we're going to be working across the chest area, and all we need to do now is just single crochet. We don't need to do any counting. This is one of the easiest patterns that I've ever written, because it just naturally grows by itself, and I like that. That means that when you're working away, people can talk to you, and you can go to a little crochet group if you want to and sit and have a, what do they call them, a knit and a natter group, crochet and a chatter. So we work our way all the way across to the next corner. So there we've got our next corner. We want to work into that first one and then again into the second one, so we're finishing actually right in the centre of the corner. We do a chain of 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, making sure that we keep our strap part straight, and then go to the next corner and do a single crochet in the very centre of the corner. And there we have the main top area. So we've got our 2 straps. Okay, so your work will look, just move that tail out of the way, your work will look something like that. It does look a little bit flimsy. I did try, you can go around again if you want to make a bigger strap, but I found that once you do the slip stitch, it gives you a lovely little strap. So now we're going to work all the way across back to the first chain that we've done. Okay, so we're just single crocheting all the way, and this bit is the hardest part of the pattern. Once you've achieved this bit, it's plain sailing, it's so easy. You're going to absolutely love learning this skill. And like I said at the beginning, I really do think that if you could share this, so that, you know, like the missionary people that go over and help in famine relief, if they all learned how to crochet and taught people how to crochet, it's one of those skills that is just really important. Okay, so we're back to the chain. Now we need to work into the chain, and we need to remember we still need to go underneath 2 loops. This is so that we get this one loopy area all the way round. At the minute it looks a bit bizarre, but when you do your finishing bit, it just makes it neat because you've got just the 1 loop to work into. So we're going to work underneath 2 loops and work into the chain, which is a chain of 5 in this particular pattern. So we need to do 5. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's the 5th stitch there. Now remember, we joined with a single crochet, so we've got this loop part of this is the edge of our single crochet, so we need to go into that single crochet there and work our way across again to the other chain on the other side. And when we get there, I forgot to tell you, you need a piece of contrasting yarn, and it really does help to put in this piece of contrasting yarn, because it helps you when you actually come to finishing your work, especially if you're doing the larger sizes and you're using the larger hooks and all of your holes and everything is all larger, then it just makes life easy, so you know where you stop and start. So back into the chain and underneath 2 loops we're single crocheting 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. This is the point where I'm going to ask you to stop and to get your contrasting piece of yarn. I've got some pink, and in this, if I just pull my hook out a minute, in this part of the strap area then you've got this a definite nice hole in there. I want you to put the yarn through there, and I'm just going to tie just a loose knot in mine just so it doesn't fall out, but just so that it stays there, because as you're working away you could actually do it the other way where you if we pull that through like that and do that one, that's probably a better secure thing there. Okay, so right, so now we stopped here, we've done our single crochet all the way around, and we get to this point where our single crochet is joining the strap again. This is where we're going to change the pattern now, so we're going to do a half double crochet into this point. This helps raise up the pattern but not too much so that you don't get that spiral effect going off. So we're going to chain 1, skip 1 and half double crochet into the next. Chain 1, skip 1, half double crochet into the next. We need to repeat that of chaining 1, skipping 1 and half double crocheting into the next all the way around. And I want you to stay with me, especially if you're new at this, just so that you can see the changeover point when we get back to the beginning. Okay, so that's chain 1, skip 1, half double crochet. Oops, I've got tangled up there. Chain 1, skip 1, half double crochet. 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 Chain 1, oops, chain 1, we've done that, skip 1, half double crochet. Chain 1, 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 skip 1, half double crochet. Now you can see we've come back to the beginning. Chain 1, okay, so we're going to skip this one, and this part here where we've done our first half double crochet, we're just going to go into the gap there. When we do this next half double crochet, we're going to go into there and half double crochet, and that's going to raise us up just that little bit more to carry on so that it keeps it straight. So we chain 1, now we're going to do the half double crochet into the, that's actually called a chain 1 space. So it's chain 1, half double crochet into the chain 1 space. Okay, and we're just going to keep on doing that all the way around and around and around until you've got your vest as long as you want it to be. And I'm just going to let you know, because of when you're going round and around, it's like we need to make sure that when we're counting our stitches, we count from underneath here, because this is going to be our stop and our starting point. We want to make sure that each side is equal with the amount of stitches. Don't count from the front, because what happens is, I've got my mistake to show you. When you finish, if you finish in the wrong place, you end up with a step, because I didn't finish quite in the right place of where I began on this pattern. So when you do it properly, you can't even tell. It's just virtually invisible of working your way down, of doing it in the correct place. So I'm going to leave you to carry on just doing your chain 1, half double crochet. I would imagine it's going to take you about half an hour to be able to get to the correct length that you want to be. And then after that you can pop back, and I'll show you where I change over the stitch at the end, because this bottom section here is done with a single crochet chain 1 for those people that just want to carry on and do it, and we do a slip stitch all the way around. But like I said, if you're new to crocheting and we've got to do the slip stitching around these areas, I'm just going to show you how as well to finish off and to tuck in your yarn so it's really secure, because obviously these are clothes, you want to wash them. If you live in a country where they've got tumble dry, they're going to be tumble dry, so they're going to be rough and tumble. You don't want your work to come undone. So I've got some top tips for that. So for those people that write patterns, I hope you've seen the potential of this, of how you can change this into, you can add your, once you've done this top piece, you can add in to the extra increases, and you can make it come out as an A-line dress. You can do your shell patterns, your star patterns, or whatever, and create all sorts of different things. I mean, that's the shape that it creates if you just half double crochet all the way around and you don't do the chain 1 skip 1. That's the difference of the pattern, what you get, and it's still exactly the same pattern. So I really hope you like it. Please share it for the people that really need their clothes. Thank you for liking, thank you for subscribing, thank you for watching, thank you for sharing. And do you know, I'm amazed at how many people have actually been interested in my crochet. So I do hope that this one is one of those ones that you will absolutely treasure, and you'll wonder what on earth you ever did without it, really. So I'm going to love you and leave you, and I'll be back once I've finished my rows on this. I'm going to make sure that there's 10 rounds underneath each armpit, and then I will do the next section. Okay, thank you, bye.